Hi Pisces, this is your January 2019 General Tarotscope reading. We're going to do this. Happy New Year, by the way. Hope you had a wonderful 2018. We're going to do this with two spreads. The first one's a general temperature check, and the next one after that is going to be a week-by-week breakdown of the month of January. So, if it resonates, wonderful. If not, check your rising, your sun, your moon sign, or other placements if you'd like. Let me see what else. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And then I am offering private readings for $30 this month. So if you would like to take advantage of that, definitely check out the description box below with more information. So let's get started. So the first card we have Strength. That's where we are now. In a recent past, we have King of Swords. In the near future, we have Ten of Wands. And where we are emotionally, we have Eight of Pentacles. And then in our headspace, we are the High Priestess. So like I said, this is general a temperature check. We are starting off feeling really good with the new year coming around. In our recent past, you probably spent some time, going over all the things that you accomplished, and you're just like, hell yeah, this was a really, really great year. And so basically the vibe I'm getting is that in 2019, you are going to spend a lot more time on developing your craft and yourself professionally in your career, and you're going to be focusing on things in the home and just having things be better. Emotionally, this is where your heart is set on this, basically. Mentally, what you're looking at is you're spending some time working on yourself, and perhaps there were some secrets that you've got or that you've heard of or that you know of or whichever. But, because it's a major arcana, that you have the understanding that whatever you're experiencing or thinking is really, really important to you right now, in your journey, at least. In our near future, we have the Ten of Wands. So we are experiencing the feeling of burden. And I want to say that this is financial. You feel like you're a little bit financially burdened. We could have spent a little bit more than we should have during the holidays, or, we've got a lot of expenses coming up. There may be a move, things like that. So, throw some clarifiers here. I have a friend who is a Pisces, and every time I've done readings for her, she gets Eight of Swords. So, needless to say, that is still a theme. So we have the High Priestess clarified by the Eight of Swords. So there may be a truth that you found out about recently. Maybe there's something that you're trying to say, but you're really struggling to find out how to do it in the right way, because I just stuttered really bad, and that's not really a normal thing for me. So you're probably really, really struggling to portray this message, and you're figuring out ways to do it. I'm getting this is a pretty big theme. Kip, stop it. Sorry, he's attacking. I have a giant snowman, and he's attacking it inappropriately. So the biggest thing here is that this thing that you are really trying to, lay it down as nicely as possible, you might just have to do it. You might just have to do it, but, I understand. We had to clarify the Seven of Wands. That's clarifying strength. You could be working with a Leo, talking to a Leo. There's a Leo involved somehow, so you may be needing to say something to this person, but you're afraid perhaps, or you're concerned about the aggressiveness that might come with it. You may feel a little bit defensive, or you might come off that way, a little bit abrasive. We have the Page of Pentacles that's clarifying your Eight of Pentacles, so definitely your heart is where your money is right now in terms of, developing your career, really, really pushing for that stability and just getting better as a professional. In our near future, we have the Lovers clarified by the Ten of Wands. So kind of connecting all of this. This secret, this thing that you need to say, you're not going to end up saying it. And it's going to add to your burdens. But you're doing it for, the best interest of everyone involved. It's one of those things like, we had an employee that caused a lot of trouble at work, and I know that there were a couple things that he falsified on his resume, and I had to make the choice of not saying it to our boss, because that would have really bothered him. It would have made him very upset, and I really don't know how he would have reacted. The benefit that I had of saying, really there was none, and the benefit I had of not saying it, it was just basically knowledge for me. So, it's one of those things where it's just like you may feel like you need to out of the integrity of your own makeup, but at the same time, like, if it's going to cause more damage than it is going to be good, maybe you don't need to share it. And I'm usually a big preacher, like, it is what it is, but your decision that you end up taking is you're just not going to share. Or perhaps you want to, and then after hearing this, you're just like, no, like, I'm actually not going to say anything. You have the Lovers clarified by the Ten of Wands, so it ends up being, this is a choice, right, that's taken on either keeping it quiet or not. But I'm also kind of getting that in whatever choice that you do decide, it is going to have a positive outcome. So if you were to decide, I'm going to say the thing, or I'm going to tell them this thing, or, whichever, right? You're going to communicate this secret or this truth. And you just know, like, it's going to be best for everybody if I do say it. It may feel burdensome at first. You might feel attacked at first, but you're fine. It ends up being, good for everybody in the sense that, the dust is settled and everyone knows what's going on for real. It could be around this King of Swords that's in your recent past, where maybe an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, was causing some trouble, or you were moving away from this person, or they were causing some stuff at work. That kind of thing. I want to say this is more towards work or family, perhaps, maybe not like a relationship. If it's a relationship, it's someone else's. So that's kind of what I'm seeing at this time. Let me see what else I can get for messages here. You have a lot going on. There is a possibility that there's a Leo that's causing some trouble in terms of, like, maybe you don't know where you guys stand. Maybe it could be any kind of placement, maybe Leo rising, Leo sun, Leo moon, but maybe you're not quite sure where you're headed in terms of, the direction of the relationship or the friendship even. And you might want to confront them about it, or you choose not to, whichever. But in this case, there is a decision that needs to be made for that relationship, and if that is the case, if that's the turn that this is taking, you're in a place where emotionally you're really trying to stay grounded and stable and make the right decisions moving forward. The Eight of Pentacles was clarified by the Page of Pentacles, so it's more like, how do I develop myself and my craft, and then also wanting to start something new, or maybe starting over, clean slate kind of thing. But you're really, really, really trying to take things slowly. You're trying to be very stable, thought out, logical, kind of one of those things where it's like you have to deliver. You're going off of things that are tangible, not so much of what might feel like is happening, right, or what you think is happening. You definitely want to see it manifest and produce. So that's kind of what we're looking at. This is a temperature check, right? So it's general. Let's dive right into January. I'm very curious to see how this plays out for your month. I'm breaking it down on a week by week, and then we'll have where we are in our headspace for January, where we are emotionally for January, and kind of go from there. And then I'll draw clarifiers if need be. If it's too focused on love, or it's like entirely on love, I'll draw some for career and vice versa. And I'll also finish it off with some cards from Doreen Virtue Romance Angels. So I don't read reversals with this deck. So the Leo is still present. That's where your mind's at. You could have Leo placements yourself. Huh. Okay. You could be thinking about marrying this Leo, or you're thinking about home, celebration. That's where your heart's at. You're definitely looking for that next step in the commitment, is what I'm getting. Some of you may receive an offer of a commitment this month. Or you may choose to find it elsewhere. There may have been a prospect and you decide, and I don't mean like a relationship prospect, I mean like someone that you were kind of feeling, but then for whatever reason you just didn't choose him. So let's get started. Where headspace we have this card. This is such a beautiful card. So this could be you. You could be embodying, the strength, You may be going through some things where you feel a little bit, like you're struggling, but you do have the strength to get through it. You could also be just really making an effort to put your best foot forward for the beginning of 2019. And, after reflection of 2018, I'm getting this vibe that you're really, really focused on your career and getting your money right. Because 3 of the weeks, the main card is a Pentacle card. So we'll get into it. Week 1, we've got the 7 of Wands. And so I'm actually just realizing that my arms have been crossed this entire time. So we may feel emotionally defensive, but I'll break that down in a second. So 7 of Wands, a lot of different signs have been getting this. I don't know if there's an eclipse coming up, so there may be, cutting out the bad vibes or cutting out the people that no longer serve you, that kind of thing. But you may feel attacked, or like there's like conflict. There's conflict nonetheless. It's kind of like defending your truth. Defending your truth is the thing here. Followed by quickly thereafter, you have the Fool, though. So this was necessary for the next step of beginning something completely new, and this is pivotal for you. Okay, Pisces, like we've got the 7 of Wands, which is a kind of an uncomfortable card. It's an uncomfortable energy, and then right after we go into the Fool, which is the first card in the major arcana. This guy's about to fall off a cliff. He's starting a brand new journey, right? But he also has no care in the world. Whatever you just overcome is necessary for you to be able to have this energy, right? So you may have a new project, a new job, a new communication, new relationship, something like that happens around that time. Week 3, we have the 10 of Pentacles, which is amazing. Week 3 has been really big for every single sign so far. So I want to say it's around this time that we're going to start going into Aquarius season. So that might have something to do with it. 10 of Pentacles is a card of it's family, it's solid. You have everything that you need, you shall not want kind of thing. So, I want to say that this thing that you have, and it perfectly aligns. So a lot of you may be receiving that next step from this Leo. We have Strength on the top, 10 of Pentacles in the middle, 4 of Wands of where you are emotionally. So I have a Pisces friend. I'm going to ask what's going on with their Leo boyfriend because I'm nosy. So week 4, we have the 8 of Pentacles. So once this offer comes in, and it doesn't need to be a proposal, okay? This could be, a communication of, I want to marry you, or, I want to have something serious with you. Do you know if you're going to get married? No, but you're starting to get on that potential path, right? So, don't get, if that's not anywhere near where you are in your place, just keep that in mind. 8 of Pentacles following the 10 of Pentacles. So what I'm seeing here is that this is where your focus really goes in. So emotionally, in the last spread, we had this card come up as this is where your emotional space was. So given that it's the main card for your 4th week, this is probably where you're really grinding down and you're like, no, I'm getting my money right. I'm going to reach my financial goals. Maybe you want to work on your credit. Maybe you want to have more savings, or perhaps you want to buy a house or something like that. This is where you really start to plan and execute. Now, the last week of January, we seem to have a little bit of trouble. We have a couple of things going on here. We go from the 10 to 8 and then followed by the 2. So 2 of the Pentacles, there's a thing that you are not there yet in terms of balancing. And I want to say that it's this thing. Who else had this? I think it was Virgo. Was it Capricorn? They had similar readings. I think Capricorn is the one that was worried about being able to balance. There's another earth sign that you may be involved with. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. But you've got the 2 of Pentacles here at the end. So this is the thing that comes up. Like, okay, I got everything else figured out except these 2 things or this one thing. Now I have to learn how to balance my goal that I'm working on and the other thing that I'm working on, right? So this is where you end up finishing off your month. But the entire time you have the strength to go through it. So I don't want to say it's smooth sailing because you don't necessarily... you don't have anything that is a red flag or anything like that. Like there isn't any potential heartbreak here that I'm seeing. So, it's more so just like finding that happy medium, right? So that's kind of like where you're going to be. If for me in my own experience of trying to find balance, it's not like the best feeling in the world. So that's kind of why I want to say but it's also not bad, right? Like it's not a bad feeling to be to be balancing things out. If anything, it feels amazing because it's almost like you have a grip on things, right? Like there's like nothing that can happen to you at that point because you've got your ground covered. I'm getting clarifiers here, and so far we've got some pretty big messages. I feel interesting. This just took a turn. Whoa. All right. So week 1, we have the Empress. So you may be having this conflict against, maybe you find out that you're pregnant or are pregnant and you're getting perhaps not the most supportive opinions. So hold on. You're definitely battling this gracefully, whatever situation is happening your first week of January. Definitely be in touch with the fact that you can create your reality and you have complete control over what happens in terms of, your life and getting to where you want to go. So when you're experiencing this non-supportive energy from other people, do it as gracefully. You'll do it gracefully. You will do it gracefully. And it will only cultivate the opportunities that are budding for you. Okay, and that will lead to the Fool, the next card, or the next week. The Fool is combined with the King of Swords or clarified by the King of Swords. So once you go through this with the Empress and the Seven of Wands, you're going to embody the energy of someone that is very logical, can sometimes be a little bit cold-hearted, but this is what you are going to embody in order to get moving on your new journey. Okay, the following week, this is interesting because we have the 5 of Pentacles that clarifies the 10 of Pentacles. So I am getting that perhaps we got what we thought we wanted, and turns out there's one thing missing. And that could be the financial career side that you're working so hard on for the remainder of the month. We have the Knight of Pentacles following the 5 of Pentacles as a clarifier. Okay, so the last 3 weeks we have 6 cards and 5 of those are Pentacles cards. So you're definitely going to be working hard on working. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. Not a bad thing. So perhaps this is where you have slow and steady progress towards meeting those goals. Okay, I think I might have said goals like a billion times in this video. So that's like a huge thing for you this month. You're not going to have a repeat of 2018. This doesn't necessarily mean 2018 was a bad year, but you're just going to be like, your level up game is going to be so insane, Pisces. Like that is the thing. That's like major key for this month. So the last week we have those 2 of Pentacles, right? Like finding the balance. And then we also have the Page of Wands. So you're going to start changing the things that you're doing. You're going to break out of your routine and have these new actions that follow suit to get to these financial gains that you're looking at, that you're expecting to receive. Okay, you may actually have a sum of money that comes up in the middle of the month on the 3rd, but then it has to go away for whatever reason, probably like big bills or big expenses. You may have been expecting this could have been a loan or something like that. And then you're moving forward to kind of like recover it because you liked how that felt, having all that money in your account, even if it was for something else, right? So that's kind of what I'm getting here. Big focus is money. Your relationship is aligned, even though in the beginning you do start off with a little bit of conflict, but you end up going just fine after that. You being a water sign and having so many pentacles here and really no cups at all makes me think that you are, and feel actually, that your approach is going to be more so on things that are real, things like actual plans, smart planning, things like that, instead of, deciding on how things feel, right? It is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to go off of that. I know many people that do the same thing, and it doesn't make them bad people, right? So this is great. I think this is great. This is kind of like, I bought a planner and all of these things are written down and I've got steps to keep me accountable to that. And so that's what I'm going to do, right? If exercise is your thing, like you have classes that you signed up for and paid for, so then like you have to go kind of thing, right? So that's what I'm seeing here. Let's switch over real fast to relationship cards. I am very curious because we had those cards align the way that they did. if there's any particular events happening. If you do get a proposal, oh my gosh, congratulations. I can't wait to hear all about it. But it may not be the case, so okay. Deception, chemistry, and trust. I feel like these are three very distinct messages. Hold on, let's channel. The first one, deception, someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Chemistry, there's a strong magnetic attraction here. And trust, the situation is calling for you to have faith. So based off of the first spread that we did, with that secret that you found out, it may be in your relationship. This doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship, or you know of a deception. A deception may be a thing coming up in your relationship. Then we have chemistry, and then we've got trust. So I'm kind of getting the feeling that even though this thing comes up, this doesn't have to be a third party. It really doesn't. It could just be someone like, says that everything is going well with their friends or with work, and it actually turns out that they're not having a good time, and it ends up being, a pretty big deal, and it's affecting them. It could be something like that, right? It could also be, where like they're not being honest about their feelings about something. So there is a way out. This chemistry that you guys have with each other, you need to hang on to that and trust that that is what is going to help kind of, I don't want to say blow through perhaps, this hiccup in your relationship. Okay, so the trust and then the deception, it's definitely the thing that is being held together by the chemistry given its placement here. So, actually I take it back. It definitely is just the one reading. There is a way to get through it. Now, I don't think it's that big of a situation. Otherwise, perhaps, forgiveness might have come up where there's that potential for a third party. But, just keep in mind that you're always having that open and honest conversation with your partners or the people that you're interested in order to move forward to continue building what you guys have. Okay, so that's what we have for month of January. I will see you guys in February. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share, and I'll see you guys next month.